idiot. He met me in Fort Smith.
Well, Fort Smith's not so rural.
Not anymore. Well, he met me in Fort Smith at the train station.
Okay.
I think I come out. I don't remember.
Okay. Can you remember your first impression of coming to these? Where did he live? He lived on a farm, didn't he?
Right up there in that little cabin.
Okay. All right. Did you come
Yeah, I remember it.
to? What did you think?
Ah, boy.
What did?
He come and got me in an old Model A Ford, and that thing wouldn't start when we tried to get it going. We come from Fort Smith to Van Buren on the bus, and he had that old rattletrap parked in Van Buren. And he had it parked on a hill, and he pushed the car off to get it going, and he finally got it going, and we started off, and the roads were all dirt and full of them big old potholes. And when we got up here, it wasn't like it was up on top of the hill, and you went in and big old rocks in the road, and we just jumped up over them. And then we come down the hill to that log cabin right up there on the other side of them chicken houses. And such rocks in the road, well, they're in the road.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get them out. It's not like you go out there with a crowbar and pry them up. They're there. And we drove down there, and we got down to the end of the road was their cabin. And out in front, his dad had a huge tree, all hollowed out, and the end nailed shut. And that's where they watered their cows right there. And they got the water run out of the spring and run into that big log, and that big log was all over moss. Well, I couldn't see the moss because it was dark.
By the time you got here, it was dark.
Oh yeah, it was dark. And there was all them cows, and right over the fence was the cabin. And they had an oil lamp. That's how it was in Arkansas. You had a kerosene lamp.
Okay.
And his mother and dad come out, and I couldn't believe what was, them cows right there, and that big watering trough. And
Where did you live?
we stayed with them.
Okay. And is this the picture here?
Yeah, that's it, right there. In that log cabin.
All right. And that's where you lived?
That's where they lived, and that's where we stayed. And then he rented a place right over there that looked worse than that, and it was so dirty. We hauled stuff out of there, old wasp nest. Oh my! You'd never believe it. What we had to do to be able to live in that old place. It was just.
So you thought you had come to the farthest?
Yeah, I thought I had come to the very end.
You thought you'd gone to the ends of the world. All right, if after you moved into your little house that you said you had to clear the wasp out and this kind of thing, do you remember how much you paid for the rent?
Well, not in dollars. There was no dollar amount. He had to work that old field up there and plant corn, and then she was supposed to get half of the crop.
For you to be able to live in the house.
Yeah, but for the rent. And
When was your first child born?
let's see, Mike was born on June the 29th. Well, let's see, we're going to be married 61 years. So he was 2 years younger, 61, 59. He's 59.
Okay.
He's going to be 59 on June the 29th.
Okay, he was born in that little house that he first rented.
No. She squawked around so much about that little old dab of corn, and it wasn't hardly 2 bushels apiece.
And she didn't like what she got?
Well, how can you raise corn when there ain't nothing but rocks and it hasn't had no fertilizer as long as it's been there?
Okay. Difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So where did you live then? Where did he move you then?
We moved to a log cabin. Well, it's between here and Shamrock. We moved into a log cabin, and there was no refrigerator, and we pulled the water we wanted up out of the well, up out of the ground with a chain. That is hard living.
How many children did you have?
Well, I just had that's where Mike was born.
Okay. After Mike, you had how many more? Were you afraid to have children in that, with times as hard as they were?
Well, no, we went to the hospital.
Okay. But I mean about raising them.
Oh, well, we were doing all right. I mean, everybody else had something to eat, and we had something to eat. And everybody lived in the same kind of a house.
Okay.
You'd never believe the houses that people used to live in. Nothing like this.
Okay. All right. So you're going to raise your children, and America now has, we're over the war, we're prospering. America begins to prosper, and women begin to work. If you had to give me one change that you think that the war made in America, what would you think it would be?
Well, it liberated the women.
Okay.
Well, it liberated them. They could get out and get a job. But, you know, they had to pay for it. They had to work at night, you know, do their housework and all that kind of stuff. You want to know something about what it used to be like? Nobody had a washing machine. You know, they washed all on the rub board.
Okay.
And they heated their water in them big iron pots, and they hung their clothes on the fence. And well, what was they going to hang them on if they didn't hang them on the fence? And the sign of prosperity, I guess that'd be the word, in Arkansas was a washing machine on the front porch. I can remember that yet whenever you went past the place. And they had got ahead just a little. They had a washing machine on the front porch.
This was unusual for you, wasn't it? Even though you had grown up in a small community.
Yeah. Everybody had a good house up there, but you'd see a washing machine on the front porch, and in the middle of the front porch would be a thing like that with a light bulb in it and a string on the light bulb.
Okay, they got electricity then.
Yeah, and they have a light bulb on it and a string hanging down, and that's how you turned on the lights, and that's how you turned on the lights in most of the houses.
Okay.
Is pulled down on that string.
All right. What about telephones? Did you have a telephone back here?
Gosh, no, we didn't have a telephone here till. Murray, do you know how long?
1969. I was a senior high school.
When we got a telephone.
Okay. What about television?
About the same time.
Okay.
Well, we didn't have a telephone when Kennedy was killed because
No,
you went up to Jones's to see the, not the parade, but
The funeral.
yeah, the funeral. That's it.
Okay.
And that was 1963, so we didn't have
no.
TV then.
Okay. So you didn't get to see Kennedy assassinated.
No, only pictures, that they had after we got a TV.
Okay. Did you get to see the man walk on the moon?
Yeah, we had that.
Okay. Okay. Times were hard,
Oh, you're not joking there.
but do you think that Americans today are better off with all their prosperity than with with the way you lived with times were hard? What do you think is the difference?
People throws away too much stuff and throws away too much money.
Okay.
People don't. We saved more when we were poor as mice, church mice, than people save today, and they got all kinds of stuff and can hang on to their money, but nobody does.
Okay. Okay. Do you think if you had anything at all to say to women today, any advice you would want to give to young people today, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Would you advise them to go into the service as you did?
No.
Can you give me a reason?
Well, just like the president sent them all over to Iraq, all for nothing.
Okay.
Just get killed.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't advise the service.
Okay.
The president can do anything.
Mm-hmm. I can't read it.
Mr. Cluck's service.
Oh, I didn't get. When did he go into service? He went in 1941. Mr. Cluck.
I don't know. What does the paper say?
That's what it says here, 1941. And where did he serve? Besides, he was in England and France with you, but where else did he serve?
Well, he was here in America for a while.
Okay. What unit was he in? What was his duties?
I think his unit was headquarters. Well, all I know is he was in Army.
Okay. Okay. You don't really know what his responsibilities were. Okay. When you got home from the service, did you think America welcomed you back?
Oh, yeah, they were all glad to see us.
Okay.
Sure enough.
So you think the patriotic spirit of America was very strong? Okay. Mrs. Cluck, I have really enjoyed talking to you. And is there anything else that you want to say?
What have I missed, Murray? Mary always talks.
All right. If you think of anything else, we will have another interview. But for now, I'm going to shut it down. But it has been a joy. I've loved it.
And you didn't talk much.